welcome everyone, anyone who's listening. This is the WIM Community Podcast. Basically, what I'm doing here is just talking with friends or complete strangers, like we have here with Courtney, just about their passions, getting their perspective on life, and just learning and connecting with people. And especially right now, the main thing is staying connected with people that are pretty much being isolated because of the coronavirus. So that's what we're doing here. And thank you, Courtney, for joining.
Problem.
Okay. One sec. Let me get a drink of water here before we start.
Okay.
Okay. So you and I pretty much know nothing about each other because we met on TikTok.
Yep.
Do you remember how you found me by chance?
I
Or
think
a particular video?
I believe I just saw a video of you. I don't remember if you were reacting to another video, but I remember you showing your stickers.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, perfect. Did I happen to send you any stickers?
I don't think so, but I also moved within that time, so
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'll be sure to send you some after we're done with this.
thanks.
Yeah, I have all these for anyone listening that is trying to understand the reference. I have a bunch of stickers that say "You Matter," and I was giving them away on TikTok. So that's really cool that you found me through that, and that now we're doing a podcast together. Yeah, it's really cool how technology has advanced from what it was before. Even obviously 10 years ago, I don't think this would have been possible. 20 years ago, or even 15 years ago when I was in like middle school, I had a flip phone. There's no way we could have done this.
I know, it's honestly really crazy.
But yeah,
it's changed.
I know. It is very interesting, the world that we live in. Obviously, right now, technology is all connected while we're all kind of staying at home. I am curious, hearing how the virus has impacted you in any way. Obviously, it's probably impacted you a lot, but if there's any particular areas you want to share about that?
Sure. Personally, I guess since I'm a college student, that's probably how it's affected me the most. This kind of disrupted the entire semester, actually, because I was living on campus and I was a full-time student, and we ended up having to leave campus. We did get partial refunds back, which was good for a lot of students, but and then for me personally, I had to move back with my parents, which wasn't the greatest environment for me. So when I said I moved, that's kind of, I had to move during this horrible time, actually.
Yeah,
and
that sucks.
I worked as a student, so I lost my job. And
you were working on campus?
Well, I worked through financial aid. I worked off campus, but I worked through the school, so I got paid. And since I had to leave campus, I don't get paid. So it was an unfortunate circumstance for, I think, literally everyone in my life.
Yeah, it was like a double whammy for you too, a job and have to move back, triple whammy because school and everything. So were you far from home, or were you in like the same kind of city?
Same state, but 3 hours away.
3 hours away, dang. That's
yeah, it's pretty far. I don't drive, which is the only reason it's like an issue for me. It's because I have to like rely on other people to help me transfer all my stuff, and I have a lot of stuff and animals. So.
Oh man, what kind of animals do you have?
I have a Boston Terrier mix for a dog, and I have a ragamuffin cat, and then I had another cat, and unfortunately, right as COVID was starting, like impacting us, my other cat passed away. So I used all my savings trying to save him, and then boom, look at that, no job.
So that's rough. That's really rough. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, thank you.
Well, dang. How are you handling everything now? I guess we've kind of it's been like a month and a half, I guess, since most of the lockdown orders took place. Are you doing kind of better now?
Honestly, I'd say yeah. I mean, it was I think I stayed as level-headed as I could during this time. I think we all are just trying to manage as best as we can, really. But
Yeah.
I think I'm doing a lot better because I've got my own place now, so I have my own house, and I've got a lot of time now, so I don't have to do anything while I'm in my hometown. Because I actually moved back to where my school is, so I'm 3 hours away from home again.
Oh,
Um,
you're moving a
but
lot.
I know, I know. I actually had to move everything back and then back again. It was a little rough, but
Dang.
um, and I'm in the same town where my job was, so hopefully I've been talking to them about like working with them during the summer, so I can at least get a job and actually
Yeah.
maybe after school because I'm a senior, so I graduate.
Okay, nice. So you're at a university. You're about to get your bachelor's.
Yes, a private university is just not the move. If anyone's listening, don't do it. It's so expensive. But yeah, I'm a
Sorry,
uh,
what's so wrong with the private university, if you don't mind?
it's just very expensive for the same or maybe even less of what you get at a state university. To me
Mm,
personally, like I mean, I feel like I've been here for 5 years now, and I grew up in a town where Ohio University is, so I've seen both sides of it, and I guess a private university, you just don't get the same experiences as I'd say as a state university. I mean, I guess it really depends on what you're going to college for, really. But
right.
for me,
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I went to community college first and then to a state college. I went to SDSU, San Diego State, and if I could have, I would have went to San Diego State for 4 years, but it is kind of a money thing. You know,
yeah,
saving money going to community college is a good move for a lot of people, I think. So I do recommend it. But yeah,
definitely.
I hadn't heard that about a private university, so that's interesting. That's good to know. I do know, like obviously, um, the state colleges typically, I don't know, have more um, activities and just a better
Yeah,
environment on campus. So that makes
I feel
sense.
like at least in there's two private universities in my town, and personally it just seems like they're very focused on sports, so I guess if you get like a sports
Mm,
scholarship it's definitely I'd say worth it, but since they get all their money from like donations and tuition, it mostly goes towards like sports and what brings in money, which is
yep.
just sports. So
Right.
if you're
Yeah.
not like an athlete or anything, you kind of get like left out. At least that's what like me and my friends have experienced.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, it's you got to find a school that's well-rounded. That I know. I didn't unfortunately participate in a lot of clubs and activities at SDSU, but I know just walking around the campus, they would have all these booths up, like just on any given day, just kind of promoting the different clubs or
Right.
anything like
I think
that.
that's
Yeah,
really important for a school to do too.
yeah. And if anyone, any freshmen or upcoming high school students are listening, highly recommend you get as involved as you possibly can and just
Definitely.
live it up. Make it like your money's worth for sure, and travel abroad if you can, and just take
Yes.
advantage for sure.
Exactly. That's the advice I would have give too. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I would have traveled abroad. I don't know. I feel like I mostly like I'd probably put my excuse on it as me being timid and like because I went to a community college, I wanted to finish getting my bachelor's once I did transfer as soon as I could. So I felt like traveling abroad would have maybe slowed down my process, but looking back, it would have been worth it regardless. If you can make that
I
happen, you got to do it.
yes, I agree. My sophomore year, I decided to study abroad. I didn't, but I went through the whole process of it, and I think if it had happened, it would have been very enlightening.
Oh
But
yeah.
since my school's a private university, we had a select number of countries we could go to, and they
Mm,
didn't allow me. Like, I had a specific place I wanted to go to, and I wasn't able to go there, so I just didn't end up going anywhere.
gotcha. Gotcha. Which where are you trying to go?
South Korea.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why there? Why South Korea?
I love South Korean culture. It's probably the like my biggest, it's impacted me the most in my life for sure. Like if you were to see my house and my animals, for sure, it's immediately noticeable.
Interesting. I feel like I don't know enough about South Korea to even picture that, to even
Well,
picture your house.
I could teach anyone. Like,
You are that into it, huh?
yeah, it's my favorite culture probably, and I love it so much. And like my dog's name is Bomi, and my cat's name is Miso, which Miso
Hmm.
is how they say smile in South or in
Oh,
Korean.
interesting. Is it the same as, because I have miso soup like once in a while. So is that smile soup?
I actually don't believe so because I think
Okay.
miso soup originates from a different country,
Gotcha,
possibly
gotcha.
China, or maybe Japan. You know what? I'm just not
Hmm.
sure.
Okay. Well, I'm as uninformed as you on that. But so are you into K-pop then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not how I got into the culture, but once I
Hmm.
got into the culture, I definitely got into the K-pop scene. Part of
That's
since
funny.
I'm small town in Ohio, country and
Hmm.
farm. Not anyone I know actually likes K-pop here, but I know that it's
Well,
more popular in California.
yeah, that's where I'm at. There's I don't know. I don't know if I know anyone personally that's like a super fan or anything. Like it, everyone's aware and they play it in a lot of um, a lot of restaurants that I go to, or I used to
Mhm.
go to anyways before this happened. They would have it playing. So it is, it's definitely a lot bigger here. But I'm not very educated on it. I know BTS. Pretty sure that's like the biggest one, right? Or at least the most well-known one. The
Yes, it is.
what do you
BTS.
call them? A band, like a boy band, or a
I mean,
group?
yeah, a boy group is what I'd say. Because, I
Gotcha.
mean, in my head, band is with instruments, but
Hmm.
I mean, technically, is it? I don't really know. I mean, they have K-pop bands that actually play instruments as well, though. So,
Interesting.
so I call the ones that don't play instruments. Well, you know what? It's really difficult because some of them do play instruments. You know what? I just don't know.
Who really knows, honestly? I feel
Honestly,
like they can be labeled as anything,
anything they
but
want to be, honestly, at this point.
I think they're one of the biggest trends right now in terms of
Uh,
like just sheer volume of like fans, and I don't know. I think
yes, I
it's
believe BTS has the largest fan group, Army. I know, I'm in it. uh, oh, what is that? Okay.
Do you
Um,
have like a, is there a name? Because I know a lot of like celebrities or I don't know, people like they have their fans have a certain name. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I think like it's such a huge thing now that almost all groups of fans have like some sort of name. But for BTS, it's Army.
Okay,
Uh,
BTS Army. Gotcha.
BTS Army, and then like all every other K-pop groups has a fandom name as well, and they it's like a ceremony type thing, I guess. They kind of um like release the group name, like the group comes up with it or in their company, and then they release it to the fans, and the fans are kind of get to vote whether they like it or not sometimes.
Interesting. Is it like an actual vote or people, is it kind of just they feel out like how
Yeah,
social media,
it's not exactly vote. People basically just put their opinions, like, yeah, I don't
right?
like it, change it, and if I guess some people don't like it, it's changed.
That's funny. Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of power just like as individuals on social media. Like we can make some things happen. We can make waves if we're
Certainly,
really passionate about
social
something.
social media has changed. It's such an outreach. Like you can, it's
It's
honestly
crazy.
it's really crazy to think about. Honestly,
Yeah, no, like I before going on TikTok, like I'm doing this thing with WIM today. It's like this thing that I'm trying to push. It's like community, this brand, whatever. And there was like hardly any traction until I got onto TikTok. If you want exposure, get onto TikTok because I got like 10,000 followers in a couple months, and
right?
I feel like my content is not that great, but social media, man, it's
Right. I mean, you can just
crazy.
reach so many people, and then without even knowing it, so many people have the same like have similarities to you and same interest, and
Yep.
it's really cool, honestly.
Yeah. No, I don't know how I would have managed living in a generation without social media. I would have had to have. I don't know. How do I meet people?
I
Like
know.
honestly, most of my interactions are on social media now.
I will
It's
say
crazy.
I'm such an introvert. It's like how would I have? It's hard to imagine like would I've just been like a loner? Like
Exactly.
it's like I mean I feel like most of the people that like I know or have like similarities to I meet online. So
Yeah, because I feel like, obviously the world is huge, like
right,
7.5 billion people. And well, for you, if you're in like a small town, like you have even less of a chance of meeting people with similar interests.
hundred
Like I'm
percent.
in San Diego, so I have more of a chance. There's millions of people here, but if you go on the internet, there's 7 billion chances that you can meet someone with a similar interest. So,
Exactly. It's really crazy.
yeah.
I think that's why it's really important for people to get into like get out of the box, go places,
Hmm.
learn about other countries, learn about like, different cultures, because there's just so much that you don't even know like that you might be into, and then you're like, for
Yep.
me, I grew up in a small town, but ever since I found like Korean culture, I feel like I've just found something that's made me feel like me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking, I think it was either today or yesterday, like, what if I am not really like meant to be in American culture? What if I'm meant to be in like Finnish culture, but I would never know unless I went there and learned about it.
Right.
So yeah,
Yes.
you gotta travel. Even if you don't have money to travel, the internet is there. That's what we've
Yeah.
been talking about. The
Yeah.
internet is there,
It's changed
but
the world for sure.
for real. And I feel like a lot of the places I have traveled, I wouldn't have known about like how beautiful it is, or I would have never traveled there if I didn't have the internet telling me like the benefits of traveling there and about the culture and doing my research beforehand.
Right.
It's a wonderful time we live in.
It's really crazy to think about. Like, I mean, it feels like it's so fast paced. Like the internet, how
Hmm.
everything. Like you said, when I was younger, I had a flip phone, and now like I have a touch phone that's probably recording literally everything I do and sending it to a government.
Right.
But like, it's crazy to think about that.
Yeah.
Like, it feels fast paced, and I guess it is, but like it happened over a relatively short period of time, realistically.
Yeah.
And
Looking back, definitely.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, we had like you said, flip phones back in like I'm guesstimating like 2005 was the time when I got mine, and then just quickly like 5 years after that, iPhone first came out. 10 years after that, now we have these insanely smart. I said fart. God dang. Insanely smartphones that can, like you said, do more than I think we could have ever imagined. So it's a blessing for sure living in times like this. And then
yeah,
like
I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. Like how far,
right,
if
that is
it'll
the
be in my lifetime.
I think we're gonna see a lot. Just obviously, like I said, like in the past 10 years, it's moved so fast. We have all these Teslas now. We got rockets going to the moon and back and landing themselves. Just imagine. I think 10 years from now, we'll probably see flying cars. Why not? Elon Musk
If I
is
see
is
flying
pretty
cars,
bored over there. Seems like. I know.
I'll be very
I know. I
for
saw
that.
like an article pretty recently, like in the past year or so, that said people, or maybe it was past couple years, that said people, and by the year like 2023, will be able to buy a ticket to go on a spaceship and go out into space and like
Oh
see the
no
Earth
way!
from outer space.
Oh, that would be insane.
Yeah,
It,
I
it
mean,
would only be rich people.
yeah, no, I think the ticket was like 500,000, something like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
So
start saving up your money now.
if I'm saving my money, I'm going to South Korea.
Would you ever move there, you think?
Absolutely. I don't know if I could live there for my like the rest of my life,
Hmm.
just because I feel like when grow up in America, it's so ingrained in you.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I don't know.
Well, we have a
I
very
honestly,
we have a different culture, I feel like, than everyone else.
right,
So yeah, I feel like you would want to come back at some point, but maybe just for a
right. But
visit.
I think yeah, I could definitely live there for like a period of time for sure. Like it'd be really cool.
Oh, for sure.
But like it's so different for sure. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I could
I
do
don't
it.
know where I would
I don't know if
live outside the United States.
I would live everywhere. There's so many places I would go.
I think I would stay in, like, if I leave here, I don't know, I'd have to be there for like a month before I would know that I could live there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
Yeah, that's
I've
fair.
vacationed, and vacationing is a lot different. Like, you're up in a hotel or whatever, and you're doing all these excursions, or I feel like you're not in the type of day-to-day life that a local would live. So it could be completely different than what a vacation would feel like. Like, I went to Cabo, and I feel like probably wouldn't live there because I don't know, it's so hot, and I just feel like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's other things about it that I prefer not to bash
Yeah.
people from
Yeah,
Cabo, but
no. It makes sense though. I mean, like if you're, it's very different than just vacationing because you have to go with the laws of the
hmm
government, work wise, and yeah, I totally get
yeah, no, the
that. I
laws thing
mean,
is definitely that's a big one. Didn't even think of that. That could be not because I barely know the laws here. How am I supposed to learn another country's law?
I won't. Same. just honestly same.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I know personally for like South Korea, like I'd love to live there, but I know that like something I would struggle with is the over there they have like this thing where you respect authority or people that are
Mm,
older with you than you, even if they're like wrong. Like if I know like I've seen
yeah.
videos of like older people in South Korea just like screaming at foreigners and no one does anything because they're older. Like I couldn't for me personally, I couldn't just be like, oh, well,
Couldn't let that slide.
they're 80, it's fine. like I'd probably struggle with in that
Yeah,
sense,
there are some
but
big cultural differences for sure.
right.
Well, now I'm reconsidering. Maybe I'll just vacation everywhere. I'll travel. I'll like go to
That's
somewhere, stay a month, go to the next place, stay a month.
honestly people do that. Just sell all your
hmm
belongings, take a backpack, and then I honestly really want to do that. Just for like a period of time. Like travel everywhere.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think that's probably like if you don't do that in your lifetime, then I feel like you're just missing out on a lot of experiences.
Right. It's like it's cliche to say, I guess, but like YOLO. Like you literally only live like you've gotta do it.
Seriously,
Like you have no other choice. Like you gotta do it. I mean most I feel like the reason most people don't is just money wise. Like I mean I
is what?
guess
Say it again.
I don't know, for me money
Oh yeah,
wise,
for
just
sure.
the financial ability to do
Well, I
it.
think if it came down to it, like if you were able to like sell everything like you said, and like obviously your bills go away, you'll have very limited bills, like you're not paying rent. I don't know about your cell phone bill. I don't know how that would be, take it or not. Um, but there's so many other bills that get wiped off. So you're not really losing money. And if you sell everything, you could probably get a decent chunk of change. Um, but I feel like
Yeah.
so many people get caught and they get kind of trapped. Like I feel like um, we're all told that like this is the process. Like you go through school, you should go to college. After college, or like when you're finishing up college in your last year, you better start looking for a new job or like a real job, like an adult full-time job with benefits. And then once you're in that, then they kind of trap you in, and there's like a security aspect to it. And then maybe by, a few years in, you're trying to climb the ladder to make more money, and then maybe you can go on those vacations. But by the time that happens, you're probably with someone, maybe having a kid, trying to buy a house, start a family, and then it just never happens.
Right. Yeah, you're right. We've kind of been like told there's like an order
hmm
to our life events, but I mean, gotta get out of
I
that.
think
Just
a lot of people like our age that are in college now. I think a lot of it has to do with um, the internet and just like seeing all these other people that have taken that route of traveling, backpacking, and all that, like it's cool to see, and I think a lot of people are attracted to it. And I think we have a lot of resources now on the internet, like of figuring out how to make that possible. So I think a
Right.
lot of things are going to change, and our parents and the generation before them probably don't understand as much as we do, like how important that is to get out of this rat race and travel. But they didn't see like
Yeah.
the possibility, like how we see it now. But yeah, hopefully, like I graduated college 2 years ago, and I'm in that full-time job with some benefits and security. And I'm just like, if I can figure out a way to be like financially independent without this job, then 100%. Like I would love to drop everything, sell my stuff, and live that life. It's just figuring that
Yes,
out,
me too.
man. Just gotta figure that out.
Yeah. There's definitely ways to do it.
Maybe I can.
It just becomes overwhelming, I
Yeah,
guess.
I know. I feel like they put it on like we're in a capitalistic society, right? Where it's like you can live the American dream and start your own business and become like part of the 1% and get rich or whatever. But I feel like it's so much harder than they make it
It's
seem.
so hard. Like, it's just, it's so hard. I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, I feel like they make it so hard, specifically to keep people from reaching that. I mean, I don't like, hey, you can start your own business, but we're also going to slap you with all of this crap you got to pay, and also, it's
you got to
impossible.
pay. Like,
it's not possible,
yep.
but it feels impossible.
I know exactly what you mean. You got to have a business license, and it costs this much a year, and then you got to pay taxes. And when you start making more money, you pay more taxes, and I think it's normal for people that like move up, and it's normal for them to like move up their style in a way, like start spending a little more on food or clothes. You start buying fancier clothes or whatever, better laptop, all that stuff. So you never really have extra money. I mean, obviously there are people that are really good with their money and make it work, but just from my experience, most of us struggle with what we are talking about here. But it is what it is.
It's just life at this point.
Pretty much.
Hopefully it will change.
One day.
But we'll see.
As long as we put our best foot forward every day and, make progress, one day we'll hopefully catch a lucky break, I guess. I feel like luck has a lot to do with it.
Honestly, I also agree.
For sure.
I don't see another way. Like, it has to be luck.
Yeah, like you can put all the work in.
Be that lucky.
Right. You can put all the work in, and I don't know. I feel like I'm being too negative here. Let's take a step back.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like, I mean, it's not that hard work doesn't get you places, but I feel like in like at least here in America, you have to have like connections of some sort. Like it takes a while. There's like a lot of hard work to go into it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people just don't want to put in that hard work, which I get because it doesn't seem as rewarding as it's gonna as the work is like.
Definitely.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah, you put in all this hard work, and then what if it doesn't happen? Then you're that much more like deflated. And anyways, I have a question for you, so we can change the topic. Okay. I don't think I asked when you brought it up, but what is your major? What are you about to graduate with?
Oh, so I am majoring in psychology, human services, and then I have a bachelor's minor in accounting.
Oh, nice. That's pretty good. Accounting can be applied anywhere. It's a good skill.
I actually competed. So I went to a career school, high school. So I competed in competitions for accounting. And I ended up going to state. I didn't go to nationals because I was very immature as a child. So I never studied or anything. I definitely should have. I think my life would have been very different had I done that. But I realized that I kind of liked accounting, and so when I got to college, I did psychology because my family has a background in it, and I do enjoy it. But so I added a minors in accounting, which is very uncommon to see because they're in two different schools.
Right.
But like I honestly wish I had went into a major for accounting because you're right, you can go into a lot for accounting. There's many different branches of it. I mean, same with psychology, but they're two
They
very different
definitely
ones.
are. Are you more passionate
Yeah.
about psychology then, you think? Or is it about even?
I'd no, I'd say yeah. I really am interested in psychology because I love to help people, and I think we need more people in that field or more people that actually care in that field because there are a lot of people, but like people that actually want to help people because there are a lot of people just in for the money or just because they I don't even know. But I definitely I think I'm passionate about psychology, but I haven't figured out what the like my exact goal is to be like while I'm
Gotcha.
in psychology because like my concentration is human services, but I don't know if I want to be a social worker. I'm interested in, I've always wanted to be a teacher, so I don't know if I want to be like a school counselor or, yeah, there's just so many, I'm
No, I
confused.
get it. I definitely get it. It's funny because I did one of these podcasts with another girl that I met on TikTok, and she is getting her master's in I think it's like mental health social work. So she's in a very similar field for
Okay.
you, and I think what worked for her is, um, well, she got a little lucky because she got a position in kind of like in the field or in that arena, like kind of psychology related or social work related. So she
Mm-hmm.
was able to feel that out, and lucky for her, like kind of first try, she liked it, and she realized that's what she wanted to pursue career wise. So yeah, if I were to give you any suggestions, how would be figure out a way to you know intern or get into that field somehow. Um, just get your feet wet and kind of
Well,
feel it out.
it's actually funny that you say that because for the last 3 years, I don't know if you know, not a lot of people know what this organization is, but have you ever heard of United Way?
Say it again. United
United
Way.
Way.
I don't think so.
So it's a national organization. It's a nonprofit. So basically, I don't know if it's different everywhere, but I know that at least for Ohio, I think it's at least for America,
Hmm.
it's the same. But I don't know. I think it's overseas as well, but it might be different there. Um, we basically help people who are in need in many different ways, financially, mentally, um, like childcare. There's many different ways we help people. But like, I've been working there for 3 years, and we see clients and we do interviews and stuff, and then we can help them pay their bills, or
Nice.
we can help them get into if they're homeless shelters. Like there's just a lot of stuff we do. So I actually have been working there for 3 years. So I have been like working with clients and everything, and I
Hmm.
do really love it.
That's good.
Um, and I'm actually interning at like the same job but a different branch of it this summer. Well, hopefully. And see, that's another reason or another way that COVID has kind of
Hmm.
affected me. My job's not sure if we're going to be staying open to the public right now.
Right.
So my internship might not be happening this summer, but see.
Gotcha.
We'll
Well,
see what
that's good
happens.
that you don't need my advice then. You're way ahead of me. You're 3 years ahead of me.
No, I
Yeah, no, that's
appreciate the
good.
advice.
That's good then. I think I feel like no one really like knows for sure. There's always uncertainty as to like what you want to do for the
Hmm.
rest of your life. But that's good. You're already in that arena
Right.
that, where you're helping people like you said you enjoy to do. So that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to just like you just got to get out there and
Yeah,
just try, or else you won't really
definitely,
know.
definitely. That's I feel like I was pretty late to that. Like I always had this itch where I like wanted to I knew I didn't want to work for someone for the rest of my life. Kind of wanted to do my own thing, run my own business. So that is what I went to school for, business management. Um,
Hmm.
but what that business is going to be about, I'm not sure. I also like helping people, like
Well,
you said, and that's kind of what I'm doing with this WIM Today thing. So we'll
mhm.
see where that takes me. I'm still uncertain as to like exactly what, you know, like I have ideas around it. Like if I was to take off on social media and I built like a following on YouTube or just like across the board, um, like a lot of my ideas are like trying to help other people somehow, like obviously community events and stuff. Um, I have this idea. I haven't told a lot of people. Maybe um, you could tell me what you think of it. Okay,
Sure.
so if I was to gain a big following on YouTube, um, my thinking was I look for people or people apply, uh, take a spot on the YouTube channel so they can get more recognition and build an audience through my YouTube channel. So basically, I would post their video on my YouTube channel,
Hmm.
but the thing is, I want it to be like um, related to obviously the type of content that I put out, which is positivity and self
Right.
improvement and that type of thing. So basically, the end result of that would I would have 7 people, one for every day of the week, posting their videos, and I would obviously pay them whatever revenue I'm getting from their videos, and just kind of help them
Hmm.
grow. Like I'm not really the type of person that enjoys being in the spotlight all the time. Like I would rather give the spotlight to other people that are, also trying to help people.
That's really
So
great.
I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like I honestly feel like a YouTube channel like that would probably do really good. One, because
Mm-hmm.
it's really different, and I feel like YouTube it needs some changes
Yeah.
just a little bit. And I think with the new generation, I feel like it would be do really well, honestly. Um, and I think that's a really great way for people to start
Mm-hmm.
their YouTube channels. And one, you said that you kind of branch out for positivity. I think YouTube channels do really well when it
Mm-hmm.
promotes things like that. And the fact that it'd be really interesting because 7 days a week you could get something new because you'd
Right.
have somebody
Yeah.
different every day with a video. And then one, the channel would do really good because your views would
Mm-hmm.
be really high because it'd be someone different and people watching it, and then the views would be high, and
Right.
then
I
you
think
get
it could
money
be
and
this big. It could grow pretty big, and then people could like everyone that's watching. They could kind of they would have their favorite of the seven, and then once that person gets big and they have all these like following, like this big community, then they can go and just be on their channel because they've gotten big enough, and then I replace them with someone else that maybe has like no subscribers, but I like their mission.
right.
You know.
That's it's honestly, I think I think it's a really good
Thank you.
idea, and I'm excited for you to.
Thank you. First things first, I have to build that following. So figuring out how to do that without like forcing it, and being too like pushy or too
Yeah,
needy for like getting people to subscribe or follow, or I try not to worry about the numbers, but I know like for that type of plan or for bigger plans to happen, I do need a following.
yeah,
Um, so we'll see.
right.
We'll see if other ideas come to me, but I just wanted to share that and get some feedback. So thank you.
No
Of
problem. Thanks for
course,
sharing
yeah,
it with me.
yeah. I feel like it's good for me to kind of talk things out because a lot of it is just in my head, so I don't really know if it's like a good idea until I actually say it out loud to someone. So that was good.
Right. I do the same thing. I have whiteboards all over my house because I like to write stuff out and
I
then
think
I
that's the
see it
best thing to
and
do.
um helps me. Yeah. It's good to get out of your head too. Like physically seeing something is very different than just repeating
Yeah,
it in your head.
definitely. That's like, especially if it's like a goal or something you want to achieve. That way, you're actually physically writing it and then you see it on the paper. And if it's somewhere, like you said, if you have whiteboards, like I have a whiteboard in my room right here. It's a pretty small one, but I have like my goals up there for 2020. So it kind of
Right.
reminds myself to keep working towards those goals.
And I feel like it helps you, it makes it feel like you're actually taking more of a physical step
Yep,
towards that goal than just in your head
absolutely.
because, yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely agree. Physical things are
100%.
way better.
I think I've been doing a lot of like, so I should probably give you background. What WIM stands for is willpower, intention, and manifestation. So I think that has a lot to do with like your intentions and your manifesting what you want. Because a lot of what I've read on that stuff
Mm-hmm.
is like, um, you kind of speak it into existence, like you say out loud, like almost like an affirmation, what you want to happen or how you want to live your life or what goals you have. And you kind of repeat that like daily, or if you have it written down, you see it daily and you think about it daily. So you're kind of manifesting it in a way like that, as long as you're working towards it, which is kind of the willpower aspect of it. Is you got to put the work in, um, but you have to know what you want and put your focus on that. So I think we're on the same page here.
Yes, I think we are. That's really cool. I didn't know what one
I feel
stood
like
for, but it's
no
really
one
cool.
does, and I've been like procrastinating putting out like some type of video or explanation on it, um, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
No, you got it.
Yeah,
You got to
otherwise
put it
people
out
are
there.
just like, what am I following here? What is WIM today? That's next on my
Right.
list. So
See, you'll work towards it. You put it
exactly.
on your board.
Yes, my roommate has been reminding me that I need to put the story out of like what this is about, where it's going, how it started,
Yep.
all that stuff. So
Right. People
for
love a
sure,
good story,
for sure.
honestly.
Okay, I have another. I'm just gonna keep throwing my ideas out at you, and you can give me some
Okay,
feedback.
that's fine.
So I have this thing where I'm doing like a monthly challenge, 30-day challenge for every month of the year. And for May, which starts
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, I'm supposed to do a mile a day. So walking, jogging, or running. And I had this idea to kind
Okay.
of post every day on TikTok of um, my mile. Um, but I had it like a twist on it because it's only a minute. Obviously, I'm not gonna like post my whole mile or anything on TikTok. I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
what if I chose or I allowed my followers to choose the route that I take? Like I go up to like the end of a block and I like put up a poll that says, um, keep going forward, turn left or turn right. And then it's like getting people involved. Does that make sense? Is that kind of cool or not really? You can be totally honest with me.
Wait, wait. So would
Mm-hmm.
you post it on TikTok? But like
I
you'd
would
be
like,
mid,
I
like.
think I would, like for the first one, I would just walk to like the end of my block and like be recording myself and like explaining like
Mhm.
the challenge and that people are gonna pick my route. And once I got to the corner of the block, it'd be like, okay, which way do I go? And then um, I would kind of build my route through TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that'd be really cool. I think the interactive part of it would be really good because, like, even though social media is great, it kind of makes you feel lonely once you're off of it. So, like, when you're on it,
Mm-hmm.
people want to be part of something, and I think that would be a really good way to actually get people more involved. And honestly, I feel like more and more people would start watching the videos, and then they would go
Mm-hmm.
back and watch the old
Okay.
videos.
I'm
And
still thinking it through, but
yeah, I feel like yeah, but
gotcha.
it's a good start. I think it's a good idea for a video, or it's for your monthly challenge. Make it
Yeah,
more interesting
yeah.
too for
Because
you.
I feel like now it's just there's not gonna be anyone
It's
outside. Everyone's in their house. I can't talk to anyone on my route. So
it's pretty hard to do monthly
you said
challenges
it's
like
pretty
that
hard.
too.
No, for
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like it's hard to commit to like a
Definitely.
30-day
I
challenge
mean,
like that.
this month for April, it was waking up at 5 a.m. and I pretty much failed
Mm.
that. Like for like the first week I got up, I was like productive. Maybe the first like 7 to 10 days. I got up, worked on stuff, or I had like a quick workout or whatever. But then I feel like the rest of the days it was like 50-50. Like either I got up and did something, or I just laid there awake in bed. I was like, oh, this is miserable.
Well, it's because you chose 5 a.m.
I normally get up at 6:45, so it's like a almost 2 hour like difference. So I'm like just losing 2 hours of sleep. I didn't go to sleep any earlier, so I felt pretty exhausted. I feel like I burnt myself out.
Well, do you get up that early, like that 6:45 for work?
I normally get up early-ish on the weekends too, just naturally, but yeah, I feel like the extra or the loss of 2 hours of sleep was kind of what did me over.
Yeah, you got to give that back to your body. You just draining yourself.
I should like took a nap during the day or something, or went to bed earlier. Yeah, I kind of messed that one up, but it was a learning experience. Now I know.
All right,
yes, May will be better. I think I'm gonna do my miles in the morning, so it won't be at 5 a.m., but still got to get up a little early so I can do it before work. So we shall. I think it'll be all right.
It's a good idea.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just said that's a good idea.
We'll see. I feel like I'm talking a lot about myself.
I think you're fine. I feel like my main challenge would
inside of it, so all the walls
inside of it. Yes, and honestly, I would just really like to do the ceiling. I don't know who lived here. I mean, I do, but like also why? It's just there's just so many colors. Ooh. They like painted each room a different color, and it's not going well in my head. I don't like it. I feel like I'm living in an Easter egg because they're like almost all like different variations of blue. It's not great. I'm not sure what they were thinking, if you want me to be honest. And also, they painted like half of this. I don't even know what this is, brown. And then why is that door? You know what? It just frustrates me. Every time I look over there, I get frustrated.
You're gonna paint it all yourself?
So, yeah, I have a roommate, but she's not moving until August. So it's gonna be me this summer. Right? So, yeah. I'm about to say, I guess I just did my little summer project. I guess.
As long as you don't overwork yourself and just have fun with it. There was are you kind of like artsy a little bit?
Absolutely. I love to paint and draw, but I'm really bad at it. All that went to my brother. He got all of the talent.
Okay, well, I love TikTok, to do it. And I'll try to find it and send it to you, but I feel like you could just copy them and just kind of like take screenshots of how they did it, but basically like they taped up their wall and kind of like they had like triangle shapes all throughout, and then they painted each of the triangles like different colors, and I don't know, it came out really cool. I probably won't be able to describe it really well, but I'll be sure to send you it so maybe you can get some inspiration.
So I know.
Oh, really?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It looks funny. I mean, you just suggest stuff, and it's funny because I've already done it. I didn't paint my wall, and I just don't know how my landlord's gonna feel about this. But I painted my bedroom doors, my closet, and the door to my room, and I painted part of one of the squares. I did that nice tape thing actually. So I actually did it already, but I think it would be really cool to do it to a whole wall, just one wall.
Yeah, that's what they did. They did one wall. I thought it was really cool. I feel like you got to pick the right wall to do it though.
It's right. You know what? This house, I just don't know. But I painted my bedroom doors. I painted like SpongeBob and Patrick because I love SpongeBob and just random stuff really, and like positive messages. Yes, I put a lot of quotes everywhere because, like I said, physical for me is important, so I like to see them. So every time I walk in my room, around my door frame, I have all these positive quotes just sitting there so I can look at a different one each
That's
day,
awesome.
maybe
I
the
need to
same
do
ones,
something like
whatever.
that. My room is pretty bare. Like the walls, like I said, I have that little whiteboard with my goals, and then I have a mirror and I have a post-it note on it that says meditate more as like a reminder. And then I have my You Matter stickers in a couple places. But other than that, I have a whole wall I'm looking at that is just bare that I can do so much with.
Gotta decorate it. For me, I always have my rooms decorated. I just feel like putting your
Yeah.
personality where you can see it, it helps you, helps remind
Hmm.
yourself who you are and why you're alive, what you're doing every day. Like, I don't know, for me, I, sorry, this is like
Hmm.
personal, but I suffer from depression. So for me, those kind of things are very helpful. Just so I like to put pictures everywhere. And I think decorating your living space is just makes your
No,
life
I
a little bit
agree.
more
That's a
enjoyable.
pretty good idea. I feel like there is no personality in my room. There's nothing that it's very bland. It's very bland. I need to give it some life because I just come in here and there's nothing to do but lay on my bed and like how lame is that? So no, that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, everyone loves to lay in their bed, but like, wouldn't you like to
Absolutely, I
look at a
would.
colorful wall or
I think
something?
I might be switching rooms, possibly, maybe not. So once I know that, then I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna do something to one of these walls.
You got this.
Thank you.
You
I
can do anything.
appreciate the motivation. I have these, I don't know. I was gonna say I have these little pictures with they're framed and everything, but they're not exactly. I thought they were my style. I got them like a year, 2 years ago. They're not my style anymore, and they're not very.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
definitely.
change a
I
lot in
want
that
something
time.
more inspirational and positive, like you have, or what it sounds like you have. So you've inspired me. Hmm.
Well, good. Well, I think a good thing
Oh
uh,
yeah.
is Pinterest. You can just find so much on it, so many creative ideas, and I
So on
just
Pinterest, do you like? Hmm. So once you like find something, can you purchase stuff on there, or when you find something, what is your process? Do you make it yourself, or do you print it, or
um
yeah?
for like me
Well, I guess
personally,
either
or
way.
just like how people use the app. Oh, I mean, I know that like usually when you click on like a photo or a pin, there's like a usually like a website
Hmm.
that'll take you to the original. So sometimes you can buy
Gotcha.
stuff. For me personally, I usually just recreate whatever I've
Okay.
seen. Um, like sometimes, I mean, just got like I planned one of my friends' weddings, and I just use that
Gotcha.
for inspiration. Like decoration wise, like I may not have done it
Hmm.
exactly the way they did, but for sure it was like
Got it. Got it.
inspired
That's
by
very
it.
good to know. I'm on
Um,
Pinterest right now, scrolling through. I'm way ahead of you. I'm ready for this.
yeah, it's such a good app. I just love it. People can post all their like creative little things,
For
and
me,
you can take
when I
inspiration from
first
it.
like
Um,
was looking into Pinterest, I got like overwhelmed by the amount of stuff on there. I didn't really know how to navigate it, but I'm going to figure it out because I want to pump up my room with some positivity.
well, the more you use it, the more it'll kind of be more personalized to
Mm,
what you're
okay,
actually
gotcha,
looking for. So,
gotcha.
um, I use it for actually tattoo ideas, and although you should never
Mm,
copy someone's exact tattoo, but um, I use it for
gotcha.
inspiration
You
for
have a
my
lot of
tattoos.
tattoos?
I have 8
Nice. You plan
tattoos
on getting
and
a
counting.
ton? Or is it kind of just like
I
whenever
do.
they come to
I
you?
think no, no. I just if I had the money, I would have
Gotcha.
so many tattoos right now. I guess it's like I said, it just keeps coming back to this,
Mm-hmm.
but that like physical thing, just having the all my tattoos are very personal, like to me. So being able to look down at my arms and like seeing something that reminds me like of something I've went through or like how I've made it through something. I guess that's more of the way to look through it, the way I've made it through something. I think that's just really important to me. And I grew up with my godmom who has like
Okay.
45 tattoos, and I don't know. I think she's kind of rubs off on
Was
me
she like
on that
pushing you to get them,
instant.
or was she just kind of just being around her?
No, she. I think just being around her and I've seen them, I was just like, wow,
Gotcha.
I want tattoos too. uh, and then my brother, he's an artist and he's tattooed a couple of my tattoos, so that makes
Oh yeah,
them a
I
little
bet.
bit more personal to me. That he hand drawn them, and he actually tattooed them on my skin, which that was
Does
the
he
that was the
does he
risky
actually like
risky
does he
decision,
tattoo
but
actually
they
like
turned
as a
out well.
profession or no?
Nope. I think he just bought a gun on Amazon, but like I trust
Mm-hmm.
him because I know he's such a good artist. I guess if you can really just tattoo. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if that's offensive to tattoo
I'm sure
artists.
it's a
I'm sorry,
little
tattoo
different,
artists.
but no, I
um,
totally get what you mean. I have a friend that well, she
right,
doesn't. I don't know. It's not really related to the story, but she like does a lot of art that people end up getting tattooed on them. So I know there's definitely that relation there for sure between artist
right.
and tattoo artist, I guess. But yeah, I haven't. I have not
uh,
got any tattoos. I
do
feel
you
like I
want to?
would. There just hasn't been anything that really hit me and like stuck with me. You know that.
Oh yeah, you gotta find
Yeah,
that
because I feel
that
like
tattoo that sticks with
I
you.
change my like my view on life or my perspective on like even like things that I went through um like how I view it or what I learned from it. I feel like changes. So like I love that idea of like kind of like a reminder like I went through this and I got through it. Um, but I haven't figured out what the tattoo is
Right.
or I don't know.
Well, I mean, certainly you could find like an art, like you have your friend, like an artist who could be able to draw
Mm,
you a couple ideas, and like I think it would be really cool of like how you said you change perspectives, getting a tattoo that kind of
yeah.
incorporates that. I think there would be a lot of ideas. Like I'm not an artist, but I feel like there's a lot of cool things that
That's
they
not a
could
bad
do with
idea.
that
Yeah, like we
idea of
evolve as
changing.
time goes on. Something with evolving.
I think there are like, you could probably
Yeah,
get a really cool
not a bad
tattoo.
idea. I
That would
I got a my
I love
dad
tattoos.
was I lived with my dad for pretty much my whole life and I moved out a couple years ago, but he's very against tattoos. Well, I feel like I don't want to say very because there are some parents that are like literally gonna disown you if you get a tattoo, but he's against them.
Right, but
So
yeah,
I
I
never
get
even
it.
really thought of it until like I moved out and I was like, I mean, a tattoo would be nice, a nice reminder, and I do like tattoos, but we'll see. You're giving me a lot of inspiration, a lot to think about here.
Yeah. Well, it is on your skin forever, so you got. Well, I mean,
I guess.
I guess you can get it removed, but that's a painful process. And honestly, it scars you.
Yeah,
So really,
you
is
don't
it
go back to
removed
how you
forever?
were. Yeah,
So
that's for sure.
right. So I'm definitely something to think about. But honestly, I love you so much. I just kind
Hmm.
of go in. Like I
Do you go for like the Friday
yeah, I
13th
don't know.
deals?
I
Get like
just
a little one?
oh, I don't know what
Oh,
something happened to my
am I
phone.
better
They're
now?
like really quiet now. I don't know
Hmm.
why. I think
Oh,
it's my friend tried calling me and
gotcha. My
something
dad
happened, but
called
it's
me
fine.
earlier
I
during
can
this
still
and
hear you.
I something messed up, but anyways, um, what was I saying? I was saying, do you get the Friday the 13th deals when those come around for tattoos? So I know at
I'm
least
not
around
even sure
here,
what that is.
every Friday the 13th, a lot of tattoo parlors um, they do like tattoo deals for cheap. Like if it's a certain size, they'll do it for like I don't know. I've never gone in, so I don't know the price, but like $20 or I don't know, $50. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong price, but I
What?
know they do like really cheap
Oh,
ones
I
for
know what
like
you're
certain sizes.
saying.
So you should
Movement.
probably look into that. You never know.
Can't stay here
They
in
could be in
Illinois.
your area. You just haven't
No,
heard yet.
pretty crazy.
A lot of
Honestly,
people
I
do
would
it.
do it
That's
anyways.
why I'm saying it because like
I love
they don't even know what they're gonna get. They go into the place and pick like out of a they have like a book
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the little thing. Yeah, yeah. They have like a couple different things. They have the like the uh, bubble gum
Mm.
machines where you can turn them and a random tattoo will come
Do you
out.
like it?
And if you get it, then it's
Interesting.
yeah. I don't know if I
So
did
this
that, but
completely random.
it's a good idea.
Interesting.
You could just get
Well, that's kind of
anything.
part of
I
the
just don't know.
experience, right? It's
Um,
like you go like on that day, like with your friend or whatever, and it's like so you remember that experience. Whatever the tattoo is, it's a reminder of that day.
that's
I
true.
know a lot of people
Yeah,
kind of take that angle.
I could do that. Like if it was like a really good day, and I was, like, you know what,
Yeah.
I really need to remember this day. I'm gonna get a random tattoo, or like I spend it with someone, and like, hey, let's go get a friendship
Yeah.
tattoo or something. I could do that. But like if it was just by myself, I just walked into like a tattoo art like shop and was like, yep, I want something random. You pick. Let's go. But I'll pay
Yeah,
for it. I
that's a
don't
tough
know about
one.
that.
But I mean, I don't know. If you're like it could be a symbol of your spontaneity. Like you're a spontaneous person, and that proves that. I don't know, man.
Sure.
Anyone, it's I have no like everyone has their own perspective on it. Everyone has their own right to do whatever they want, and I think
Well,
it's awesome.
definitely with your body, and if
Yep,
you want to get like random
absolutely.
tattoos, do you. I think like tattoos are so cool to me.
No,
I
I
don't know.
agree.
They're so cool to me. My dad also was not
Mm.
about tattoos, and I think I got
Oh
into
dang.
tattoos when I was like 13, and my dad would not let me
Yeah.
get a tattoo, which makes sense. I was 13. And he was like, he like held me off. He was like, "Well, when you're 16, we'll talk about it." And I was like, "Okay." And then I turned 16. He was like, "Absolutely not. When
Oh
you're
geez.
18, you can do whatever you want." So on my 18th birthday,
Oh
I went and
dang.
got 3
You gotta show them what's
tattoos.
up.
So I
My
guess
sister, my little sister, she's five
I
years
sure
younger
do.
than me, and I can't remember what she must have been 18 or 19, and she got one, and my dad flipped out because she did not tell him, of course, and I don't know. He got over it though. He was probably only upset for like he held on to being upset for maybe a week or a few weeks at most. So they get over it. Most parents get over it.
No, that's not cool.
But yeah,
Yeah. Every time I get into a tattoo, my dad's kind of like, really? But also, he doesn't like, he's like, it's whatever. It's you. You do you. Because, I mean, times are changing, honestly. Like, it's going to be
oh
more
yeah.
accepted. Like, I guess his thing is that, like, it's just jobs. He's worried that I'm not going to be able to get, like,
Mm-hmm.
if I want a government job or something. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I
Right.
can
As
wear
long as
long
you're
sleeves, I
not
guess.
like, I feel like if you're getting like a neck or hand or obviously like face tattoo, you want to consider what your career choice is. Make sure you'll be okay.
Right, of
But
course.
other than that, do you?
That's what I say.
Well,
One of my tattoos kind of goes on my
it
hand,
kind of
but it's
what?
not bad. It's not that noticeable.
Oh, okay.
It kind of goes on my hand, one of my tattoos, but like it's
I
still
feel like a
kind of
lot of
on my
people
wrist, I
or a lot of
guess.
employers they're getting over that for sure. I mean, I work in insurance and there's a girl at my job that's pretty sure she has it like all the way up her hand. Um, so they don't seem to care, I guess. But we don't have like customers come the in our office or anything. So I don't know if
Right.
that was their angle or if they really don't care that about like visible tattoos. I don't know. I've never talked to them about it, but who knows? You gotta find the right employer.
Well, I guess. Right, of course.
I wish we're more on the same page of being like open and respectful of other and stuff. Everyone kind of they get a little power. Like if you're like the boss of a company and you have that power, it kind of goes to your head, and you become closed-minded.
Oh, sorry. It's about control. You just you get that like I don't know, like
Yeah.
thrill of being able to control
Yep.
something or someone or whatever.
Little
And
power trip.
it just kind of Part of the fact that you have humans that are under you and have lives and, you
Right.
know, need to live their
Yes,
lives.
it is. It's an interesting dynamic when people get power. I don't know. I've never had it, so I can't
Yeah.
speak from experience. At least not in that scenario.
Same actually. Definitely haven't had power
Right.
of any sort of like at a job or
Well, I mean,
anything.
they
Maybe
so
one
I'm
day.
in I do marketing for an insurance company, and I'm the only person in the marketing department, so I'm kind of the head of marketing, but I don't have anyone like under me that I like
Hmm.
kind of give tasks or
Right.
something. So, yep, don't have any power.
Well, maybe one day you'll have a little
Yes.
underling you can. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, normally my podcasts go about an hour, and we're over that. So I don't know if there was anything else that you wanted to talk about. Um, I think I'm good on my end as far as like asking you and getting to know about you.
I mean, no, I mean I'm good. Unless you want to talk about you didn't really talk about how
That's
COVID was really
true. Yeah, we
affecting
did.
you.
I know we texted before this, kind of figuring out what we were going to talk about, and it was just like the virus and college, I guess. And then we go on and talk about K-pop and
We
travel.
talked
Right.
about
But yeah, in
everything
terms
else.
of the virus impacting me, it's a good question. So like I said, I work in insurance and I guess we're considered essential. So I kept my job, which is good. And I like we stay in the office. We have like 15 people. So I was like, maybe we'll work from home. Like I feel like we have the ability to, because everything we do is on the computer anyways. But we ended up staying in the office and we just
Right.
sanitized the crap out of our cubicles and our offices and stuff. And we like avoid
Hmm.
any meetings. We can do them virtually, even though we're in the office together, which is kind of a little weird, but um, got to keep our distance. So work is good. I think the only
Right.
difference besides that is like there's no traffic in the morning. So most of it is plus sides for me. But I don't know, like not seeing people is rough. Um, not seeing your friends, and
Yeah.
then like I go to my dad's house because I get him groceries sometimes, and like not being able to hug him,
Hmm.
that's rough. Because it's like we do like this fake hug from 6 feet apart, like air hug. So it'd be nice to hug him after this stuff is over. Other than that, it's fine.
Right.
What's that?
I think definitely the isolation is
Yeah,
a big factor
no,
of
for
how
sure. I
people
think
are taking this.
isolation is not very good for people. And like, I know you mentioned depression, and I'm seeing a therapist right now. And I was seeing them in person,
Hmm.
so now it's like a virtual thing. It's kind of like FaceTime, and honestly, it's a lot different. I feel like I'm not getting the same experience. Like I don't know, the conversations didn't flow as smoothly. We can't pick up on each other's like body language cues. Um,
Right. No, definitely. I'm actually in therapy too, and I have
yeah,
to do the virtual therapy as well. And I get what you're saying. Like, especially if it's like behavioral type of therapy, which in person to person is
yep,
very important. That you need to be able to see people's body language, facial expressions, and I'm doing mine
mm,
actually over text now, which is like, I mean, I guess it's good
yep,
because I grew up kind of texting, so like I feel like texting you can easily kind of get out what you're thinking, but it's very different when you're trying to get like I guess that feeling of support and it's like over text.
yeah. And if you're
It's
doing it
very
over
different. I get what
text,
you're saying.
you have to really like make it clear like what you're saying and like how you're saying it, and yeah, you kind of lose that tone of voice, but
Right.
it's definitely better than nothing, for sure. But yeah, I
Oh, of
mean,
course, yeah.
it is what it is. I'm just like I'm doing okay. I'm just like more been more thinking about people that that really need that like therapy session like every week or every 2 weeks, like face to face.
Yeah.
Like there are people that are probably, stuff like they're struggling with this for sure. Like and I like to keep it positive, but I just think about, that type of thing. Um, it's an
Yeah.
interesting time we're in, and you just kind of hope that, all these companies that people really depend on, all these therapists that people depend on, you just hope they're able to kind of make this change and make it work virtually. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, we'll see, I guess. I mean, it's still pretty early. So I know there's a lot more that people can be doing. And I think a lot of people in the beginning were like feeling it out to see if like how long this would last, and it's kind of seeing like seems like it's gonna last a lot
Mhm.
longer than people originally thought. So I think people are
More
gonna like
people,
push
right?
their hands like all in to like, build better connections online and better platforms, and um, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens over the next year and how life changes if it ever goes back to normal,
Yeah,
for
it's gonna
sure.
be very different.
Like there's so many aspects that like of our life that I guess we kind of took for granted. This is kind of like a wake up call.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Like my college is already talking about doing virtual sessions or like online
Mm-hmm.
schooling for the fall,
Yeah.
which
No, I
just
bet. I
be
feel
horrible.
like you said you
So
got a refund, which
really,
is good because I was wondering like I saw people online kind of like you know reaching out to their schools like on Twitter or whatever, like saying we should be refunded. We're not getting the same experience as we were if we were on campus. And it's like that's so true.
hmm
And like if all these schools go to online, then tuition should be drastically reduced. I saw I saw Harvard.
100%.
They
Yes, I
they have like a
agree.
$40 billion endowment, so they got money, and they also got um, like $9 million from that small business loan program, and people went off on them. So I don't know if they even gave it back. If you have $40 billion, why do you need a $9 million loan? I don't think you're really struggling. I think I just think schools
That's so
take
much
advantage
money.
of their
So
students,
much money.
and they're
Oh, they do. I hate.
yeah,
That's like one of the reasons I hate being in college.
they're more of
They
like a
it's
business
just
than they
it's a
are
scam.
like the
It's just a
educational
scam.
system. Our system, our
And
system
yeah,
has some
it's
improving
very
to do.
fortunate, honestly. And hopefully, in the next couple generations, it can definitely change. I think it's going to be a slow
Yeah,
process because it's been this way for so long, but hopefully, we can definitely change it,
let's
and
hope
the
so.
future will be a
Let's hope
lot
so.
brighter.
I feel like once a lot of these older politicians that are kind of running things now, once they, move on, retire or whatever, and people from like our generation or just around our age that like see where we're coming from, and like empathize with us, once they're in power, then
Right.
some things will
Just,
change.
yes,
Just takes time, I guess.
definitely. Because, like, once you live
Yep.
through something, that's how you get that
Yeah, exactly.
empathy for it, and you actually realize that things need to
Yeah,
change. So I
yeah.
think
I
you're
think
definitely
people
right about that.
that are in office now, they had their ways when they were growing up, and they they don't really have the ability to, or maybe they just don't want to see, like, from our perspective, they don't want to see the changes we're hoping for, which is like it's understandable to an extent, as long as like obviously there's a lot of corruption that goes on, and it's like all about their pockets, their money. Um, but I like to give people
Mhm.
the benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt and just be like they came from a different generation, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to understand something that it's just like with, if you're trying to understand, like, I don't know, like a lot of people struggle with
Yep,
understanding different cultures because you haven't lived through it. How
exactly.
you don't understand it. And I mean, like, if you try to understand, it's very different. But I a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
in
They're
power
very
right
stuck in
now
their
do
ways.
not try to understand it. And yes, I think once we get
Yeah,
past
I
that, it's
agree.
going to be way better.
Yeah, I think for a long time I wanted to live in like um, countries like Sweden or like Switzerland where they have like free education and it seems more like for the people type of economy going there. Free healthcare, which is things
Mm-hmm.
like I'm for here. Um, like I would probably move there. Like
It's
now that I
moving.
think about it, and we talked about that earlier, like where we would move somewhere over there. I think with like because I think I saw like a article about
Yeah.
where the happiest countries in the world, and it's like a lot of them are in that area. Like I don't know, I'm not good with geography, but like that European area over there.
Yeah. Honestly, it's
Yeah,
so beautiful over there. I'd live there too.
exactly.
Like, how can you not be
No,
happy? It's
I
so pretty.
that's interesting. You really got me thinking here about my future, my plans.
What you gotta do, you gotta always think and change how
Yeah,
you're
we'll see what
perceiving
happens here
things.
in the United States,
So,
but
I mean,
it doesn't get any better.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
plan on living here my whole life. That's for
Well,
sure.
like where
Like,
would
I'm trying.
well, I don't know.
Like,
This
at some
might be a
point.
personal question. I was gonna say where would you I don't know how to phrase it. I was thinking like family wise, like where do you raise a family? Like do you come back here
It's
or like is it better? Yeah.
where would I raise my family? Um, Honestly, to me, I feel like it wouldn't really matter to me. I just like family is whoever like who you're with. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like
That's true.
if my family's with me, then yeah, I don't really care. Like I I honestly I love the idea of kind of traveling with
Mm-hmm.
kids, not like backpacking, not that type of traveling, but like living in like Japan or something, or then you move into Europe for a while or something. Like I want my kids to be able to have those cultural experiences. So I wouldn't mind like raising my kids in different places. But also,
Yeah.
I do want to settle down at some point. But I just feel like America isn't it. I just feel like North
So
America
would you
isn't
kind
where
of
I want to
like
go.
homeschool
I
them
don't know.
if you're like kind of
It doesn't
traveling?
seem like
I haven't really considered that.
no. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
so. I mean, I was homeschooled for a little while, and I'll tell you,
I bet it is.
it's different. it's different.
Mm,
You lose a lot of the social um like learning those social cues, like everything. Like I missed out a lot in high school. Like I went to a career school, but my part of high school, the first half of it, I was homeschooled, and all I did was sleep, and I didn't do any homework, and I genuinely played Sims 24/7. Like
mm-hmm.
I didn't go to football games. Like I mean, it's different, but like I think it's really
Yep,
important to be able to have those experiences and adult life too. So like I think I would
very
definitely
true.
have my
Very
children
true.
enrolled in school.
Yeah, I had some friends that
And
they
that's important.
I think they were homeschooled up until high school, and that's when I met them. And there is definitely like some social cues that they didn't pick up on. Um, but they ended up getting enough like they
Mm-hmm.
were socialized enough throughout high school where like I feel like they were caught up. Um, but yeah, you're right. Those experiences you can't get back. I feel like elementary school was like my favorite time of like of like school. It was the
I wish
best.
we could relive elementary school. Those
I feel
definitely
like I can skip middle school
just so many
well, I
memories.
don't know. I have a lot of memories from middle school too. So yeah, middle school is like a weird
I could live without middle
transition
school.
time, but
Like I don't even know
right.
what's the point. Like just yeah, no, I can live without it. Like I don't really know what it's just like a weird time when
No
kids
one
are
really
doing weird
knows like
things, and
what the heck we're
I
doing
don't
in
know.
middle school. All I know is like if I didn't go to middle school, there is like a couple like things that happened during lunch that I wouldn't have experienced. So that's what I was thinking of. Like one time these kids like brought like mini like firecrackers or like basically like fireworks to school and like set them off like in the corner of the basketball
Oh
courts during lunch.
no.
That was exciting. That was very interesting to witness. Definitely not.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah, you
can't get
couldn't
that
get those
being
experiences
being
back.
homeschooled. So
Like I generally feel like all I did was like sleep through history class
yeah,
and like I don't know. It was time. I was in a what is it called? I can't, like a career program in middle school too. I don't know why I was in all these programs, but um, I I only had four classes, and then I left middle school and I went and worked,
interesting.
and I got paid, and I just don't
I don't think
know
it
if
is over
that's even
here. I
legal,
don't know
but
about Ohio, but
like child
yeah, interesting.
child labor laws. But no, I think you have to like get a lot of like
I bet.
you have to sign like a lot of papers and parents and stuff. But yeah, like I had like English, history, and culinary class, and then sewing class, and then I just left and I
Wow.
went and worked at a restaurant
Yeah.
and was just getting paid. Like I don't really know. It was so I could have lived without middle school. I just feel like
No.
it wasn't the
That's interesting.
experience
You had
they
culinary
talk about.
and a sewing class. I don't think we had anything like that. I feel like there's so many classes that are unnecessary. Like you don't take out into the real world. Like you don't need to know the periodic table of elements unless you're getting into that profession. Basically, unless you're going to be like a chemist.
Right. I feel like those
Mm-hmm.
kind of classes should be electives because then you could I don't know like um try to kind of lead in a direction for your future, but like everyone needs to know how to cook. I'm
Yep.
sorry, like I just
There
you
needs to
gotta
be
be able to
classes
fend for
on taking
yourself.
or doing
Like
your taxes.
so, like
Like,
I think basic right,
yep.
right. Those are basic needs that like we need, but like I don't remember anything from history class. Again, I'm sleeping, but like I just feel like I don't know. Yeah, our education classes or our education system definitely
There's
needs
room to improve for
a little
sure. Like
updating,
there's
to
so
be
many
honest.
like you
But
said basic needs. Like I didn't know like how to build my credit until like honestly like after college or like late into college. And then yeah, like taxes and you know, there's no like classes on like learning about money. Like, there's no financial classes, at least not in like high school or anywhere before that. So there's room to improve.
so not at all. Yes, definitely. I mean, when I was in that program, like we had to memorize our social security number, and like that has come in a lot of like it's really
100%.
handy
That
for me. Like I definitely needed to know that.
yeah,
I really
I didn't
got to
memorize mine
memorize that.
until I think like I barely knew it when I was like 19 or 20, just barely. But so many things that are more useful to learn than crap that happened in the 1800s. You know, I don't get it.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
and it's none of it's half of it's not true. Like like y'all are just making this up. Like
They're just
what do you
trying to
mean?
keep us
Like
there
I
as
don't
long as they
know.
can.
Like yeah, if we exactly like take me to like really
Mm-hmm.
interactive museums or something for that type of lesson, but like don't just sit and make me read out of a book that a bunch of
Yep.
older gentlemen wrote and like
Even a lot of math
none of it's
classes.
factual.
Like
Like
you
I
need
just
math, obviously. You should
yeah,
be if you're
I
good
don't
at math, there's stuff to do with that. But like things like learning like sine and cosine and that stuff,
right.
like I don't understand the point of that. Maybe I don't know, you're in accounting, you might be better with numbers. I don't know if you're gonna use that, but yeah,
100% not. No, you
that's true.
accounting and math are very different. Like people always
Yeah,
like think they're the same. They're very different. 100%. Like accounting's mostly just memorizing
gotcha.
like systems and equations, but like not
I know what you mean.
math.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's just
different
so
though.
much I feel like So I've kind of one of my challenges where I went off social media for 30 days and I realized there's so much information that you're
Hmm.
like subconsciously it's like getting put into your mind, like scrolling Instagram feeds and stuff. Like your mind is being so like bogged down by that
Oh,
stuff. I feel like
100%.
it's the same with school taking these classes that don't matter. Like it's taking up room in your brain that could be used to learn something else
Yeah.
in a way.
No, I agree. That's why. So my brother, one of my brothers, he doesn't even believe in college. He's like, "Don't go. I don't know why you're in college." Because like for him, which I mean, I get because like you said, like why I'm like right now, I'm taking this history of psychology. I don't need to know what Freud's doing because what he's doing
Yep.
isn't really relevant right now because it. Well, honestly, Freud was a little crazy, if we're gonna be honest. Like, it's like I don't know. There was like I feel like certain classes, I don't know. You know what?
Yeah, no, I agree with your
Education
brother.
system
Like,
just needs to be
because
changed.
there are like
That's it.
what's it called? Like courses that are like sped up, or shortened or whatever that just give you the information that you need for whatever like wherever you're going, whatever certification you need,
Yes.
whatever field you're going
Yeah.
in. I feel like that's the way of the future.
Of
That's
course. Yeah.
what people should be doing, not these 4-year colleges.
And like I said, honestly, college is just kind of a scam. Just like, I mean, like not the whole higher learning or like, I mean, I think that can be important for a lot of people, but it's just like how the setup is now. They literally just keep you there from
Yep,
taking all these classes so they can get
100%.
your money. That's generally all it is. Like, I could probably finish
Yep,
my degree with everything I need to know within 2 years, but instead I'm here for 4 or 5 years
100%.
because they want my money. Like I have to take like what 6 electives
Yeah.
for what I don't. You know,
Yeah, and then I
it,
think their excuse is like,
it's
well, we
annoying,
want you to
honestly.
be, well-rounded and try new things. It's like, well, how about we take that money that I'm paying for these classes and take the time where I have to go to these classes and do all the assignments, take the money and time from that and put it into traveling abroad. Make that like a mandatory thing or like at least experiences
Right.
on campus that is like, I don't know, that's mandatory for everyone to do, like something fun, something interactive. There's a better way to do it,
Mhm.
that's for sure.
100%. Or like the thing they want us to be well rounded, but like, okay, take those lessons you want us to learn,
Mm-hmm.
we'll spend all our money on and teach us it in high school with instead of just all these stupid things that you're
100%.
making me learn. Just, like if I ever have to read Shakespeare again, I'm sorry, I just
What
can't.
are we
Please
learning?
stop making me read it. I'm never gonna
Uh,
read it. Please stop
yeah,
making me
I don't
read
get it.
Shakespeare.
I don't know
I
who
can't.
who maybe the system worked for people 100 years ago. I don't know. I don't get it. I think it's just difficult to
I
like
also don't know.
completely rework a whole
Also,
system that's already been built. People are just lazy.
oh, I mean, it's, it's just not going to happen
Yep,
for a very long time. I really like it, honestly. It's going to be a slow process, but it's going to be really great once it does. And I'm really excited for the
I
future
agree.
generations that they're going to be able to get to live through. It's, I mean, things are just getting, it seems like things are getting worse, but in reality, I mean, like in a lot of aspects,
Yeah.
things
No,
are
I
getting a
agree.
lot better for a lot
I
of
agree.
people.
Got to look at the bright side of things. Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Also,
we
I
sure
just,
do.
do you watch Netflix? Okay. There's a new movie on there, and it's called A
Secret
Secret
Love.
Love.
Okay,
And
let
if you
me
haven't watched it, you
make a
should.
note of that. Do you want to give me any background story to it, or is
All
it
right.
gonna
I
spoil
don't
it?
know. I don't know. If you're well. No, I don't.
Is
If you're
this
not,
something I should
are you an
watch with like my
emotional person?
girlfriend? I'm not like I can be emotional. I don't know. Okay.
It's. I mean, it's a pretty emotional movie. Like it's a true story, and it's
Okay.
just so cute. Honestly, I just feel like it's. I
Okay.
honestly, it'd probably be a great date night movie. So
Gotcha.
like,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah,
I
you
wrote it
can watch
down. I will look
it
into
by
it. Yeah,
yourself.
I'm on Netflix like every night. It's like my bed. It's like my nighttime ritual, pretty much, which is terrible, but it is what it is. You
gotta have a little
before
moment
taking on the
to
next day.
relax.
It sure is.
Right.
Well, while
And
we're
Netflix
giving
is great. So
recommendations, are you on YouTube a lot? Okay. Okay,
yes.
so there's this channel
I'm always
called
on.
Yes Theory. Have you heard of them?
Yes Theory.
I
It kind of
recommend
sounds.
checking them out. They have a lot of episodes, and like lately, because of everything going on, like their style kind of changed. But if you go back like a few months, they do some really cool things. Like I want to give you the title of this one that I think you should start
Okay.
with. Let me just go on here real quick. But they're kind of like where I would like to see this thing with WIM today go.
Okay.
Like they do a lot of like helping people. Okay, so there's this one called Traveling 10,000 Miles to Fulfill Subscriber's Dream. So they do a lot of cool things like that. But I think it's 20 minutes one, and like that one pulled my heartstrings. So if you're emotional, like you're recommending this movie for emotional people, that one's a really good one. That one got me to tear up, and honestly, I don't get like that too often with things that I know are like, I don't know, movies and TV shows and things like that. But that one got me there.
Sounds like I'll cry.
Yeah. I love their channel. They're definitely my favorite, I think, on YouTube right now. So I recommend them to pretty much everyone that I can.
We'll definitely check it out.
Cool. I think you'll end up binging probably. That's kind of how YouTube is. You watch one thing and then you're on there for a couple hours.
Like people make candy in Japan in the street somehow. I don't know how that happens, but it always does. Are you telling me you've never ended up on those videos on YouTube?
I've ended up on, I don't know, somehow I follow this white guy that speaks Chinese. He goes out to eat and he shocks people. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know how, but he ended up, well, he has a lot of subscribers, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, I do end up on some very strange videos if I just kind of let the recommended guide me.
I agree. And YouTube's algorithm is really left field.
Well, got an hour and a half in. I want to say that's my longest one now. It doesn't feel that long.
No, it doesn't.
Sure. Anything else we should cover here? I mean, we could always do this again. I would love to do it again.
Yeah, of course we can do that. I think I'm good.
Pretty late over there.
More questions. It's 9:35.
Gotcha. That's my bedtime. So, well, well, you don't have much to do right now, right? So you go to bed. My roommate goes to bed at like 5 in the morning now. So.
Oh no, I cannot. I do go to bed at like 1 or 2.
Gotcha. Well, he's playing video games, so time. I know how that is. Time.
I get it. If I had Warzone in front of me, I'd be up all night.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to cut off my Xbox Live because I knew I would not get the sleep I needed if I had that still.
It's a problem, honestly.
It for sure is. Okay, well, it's been really nice talking to you. You've inspired me, and I hope you inspire anyone who listens to this whole thing, because it's been great.
It was really great talking to you, too. I'm really glad I did this.
Yeah, I'm glad we somehow met on TikTok and made this happen.
And we can make it happen again.
Absolutely. So I have a video to send you of someone painting their wall, and I will be in touch.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.